You are now entering Armbar Audio.
Hello, and welcome to Armbar Audio. I'm your host, Tim Farley, and next to me is my trusted companion,
John Kearns. What's up, everybody?
It's a special edition today because we are joined by Talking Suplexes podcast, Beasy, to count down our top 10 favorite Cruiserweights of all time. Beasy, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Oh, I'm just fantastic.
Good.
So this was Beasy's idea, so we're going to let him host the show.
All right, so pretty much this episode we're going to be talking all Cruiserweights, our favorite Cruiserweights of all time. I hope you guys got your top 10 list ready.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, before we get into that, I just wanted your guys' opinions on what do you think when you hear Cruiserweights or junior heavyweights, what do you think of as far as weight size, style of wrestling? What first comes to your mind?
So, Cruiserweight to me has always kind of implied a more focus on high-flying action, quicker wrestling, smaller guys, and just more athleticism overall.
Yeah, I'd say that a definite lucha libre influence, even though they don't have to be, they could be more technical, like John said, just more athletic competition. And anytime I hear the word cruiserweight, I automatically think of WCW. If I hear junior heavyweight, I think of Japan. Yeah.
So you say you hear Cruiserweight and you think of WCW. Impact Wrestling, for instance, they use the X Division. Does that really give you light heavyweight vibes or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or it should. I've never really agreed with how they go about the X Division. I don't know why they let people like Brian Cage or Abyss hold an X Division title when they should be more focused on the heavyweight title.
Alright, what about 205 Live?
205 Live is still, I think, in infancy compared to the other aforementioned things, promotions. But 205 Live is a great show. I watch it every week.
I agree.
Man, I think you're one of the few who watch it every week. I really try to because it's great wrestling on there, but after a while, it gets a little difficult.
Well, if I don't watch it every week, I'll binge it.
Right.
All right, so let me ask you guys, before we get into our list, just get general ideas of how you guys crafted your list. Is it more like how these wrestlers on the list made you feel, as far as like a connection to them, or is it just pure wrestling ability as to why you chose your top 10 list?
No, for me, it's definitely for how they made me feel. I have some people who would be regarded as some of the best of all time, lower than like most people would think. I have some who may be afterthoughts to some people, high, because of how I felt when I watched them. And anytime you do a list like this, it's always good to figure out if the list is subjective or objective, because if we're going objectively, then of course you have to think of all the statistics. But if we go subjectively, then we have to think of how did these people make me feel? Who was I really a fan of?
All right.
Yeah,
So you guys ready to get into our top 10 list?
Yep. I think so.
Alrighty. John, who's your number 10?
My number 10 is a wrestler from the WCW era who did make the jump to WCW or to WWE when it came time. He has been the WWE Cruiserweight Champion 2 times before they before they had the hiatus on the title. In 1998, he was ranked number 25 out of the 500 best singles wrestlers by Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and in 2003, he was ranked number 140. He's held many championships around the world. That wrestler is none other than Hoovy Juice Juventud Guerrero.
Oh, man. I'm shocked you picked Hoovy. I think he's an underrated talent. I really do.
Absolutely.
I have to agree with that.
Do you think it was more, because we all know he had some personal problems towards the end of the WCW run, and I think in WWE. Do you think it was more that, or maybe because he had a thick accent? Was it, that the accent and maybe the language barrier that kept him from being bigger than what he could have been?
I think that's possible because at that time WWE was definitely not as open as they are now to foreign wrestlers. There's a lot of people that they tried to give people mouthpieces that didn't necessarily need them. But now they seem to be moving away from that.
They also made him come out on John Deere.
Yeah, they did
things
that.
and stuff
Him and Super Crazy both.
Yeah. And Psychosis, right?
And Psychosis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
All right. So then I'll go ahead and pick my number 10. I'm not going to go in depth with all their accolades like John did, but my number 10 is X-Pac, 6-Pac, 1-2-3 Kid, whatever you want to call him.
Nice choice.
He wasn't one of the more acrobatic wrestlers, but I loved his attitude, his swagger. He was one of the, when I first started watching wrestling, he's one of the first guys I saw that I could identify with because I'm a smaller guy. I'm only 5'5". So those kind of guys, that's one reason why I love, they had junior heavyweights, cruiserweights, whatever you want to call them, because they're small guys, so they gave me hope when I was younger.
Yeah.
But, he was one of the first that I can recall with the whole, jumping up, doing some acrobatic moves, even though his is more martial arts inspired, if anything else.
Right.
But yeah, that's my number 10.
I guess it goes to me.
Yep.
My number 10 is fairly new to the scene, but he, when I watch this guy, it makes me feel like when I was a kid and I watched the Cruiserweights in WCW. I'm just in awe of everything that this guy does. Ray Phoenix of the Lucha Brothers.
Okay. Man, he's going to be a force to reckon with.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't wait to see them in...
He's still relatively young in his career. Where do you see Ray Phoenix in the next 5 years?
I mean, he could really go anywhere. It all depends on if he wants to stay with his brother or not.
Right.
Because I could see Ray Phoenix transferring to WWE well, but I can't see Pentagon.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with that language barrier. Ray Phoenix can't speak English, Pentagon can't.
And also, they're on Double or Nothing, so maybe they'll be in AEW for the next 5 years. It seems like the wrestling landscape outside of WWE and even kind of in WWE is opening. A lot of guys that are working for Impact are working for other places. A lot of people who are working, the WWE has working relationships with Progress and WXW and stuff like that. So it's really hard to say where these people will be down the line. But Ray Phoenix could go to WWE someday. I think Pentagon wouldn't really translate well there. So I think it depends on if he wants to stay with his brother or not.
Okay. I'll go next because to piggyback off you, my number 9 was Phoenix.
Oh, there you
go. That dude just has good balance. He's exciting to watch. I think in MLW, he kind of tones it down a little bit more, which is okay. But in Impact and some of the other clips I've seen him, he really lets it loose. I think he has a bright future, honestly. So I'm looking forward to see where his career goes.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that match versus the Young Bucks at Double or Nothing. Is that good to me then?
John, that leaves you.
Okay. So my number 9, he's a guy, again, that I feel never got his due diligence. And another underrated star. Somebody that was a wrestler for WWE. He was part of the Team Kaientai. He now is the cornerman and hype man for one Zack Sabre Jr. His name is Taka Michinoku.
Okay. He's active in Japan right now, right?
Yes, he is. He's usually in tag team matches.
Okay.
He'll usually either team with Tai Chi or Zack Sabre Jr. himself.
He suffered, to me, he just suffered from when he was in the WWF at the time. They just didn't take light heavyweight serious.
Right, exactly. But even so, he did hold their Cruiserweight title, or he, back when they had a light heavyweight championship, not a Cruiserweight championship, he held that one time, and he actually won the tournament for that. He had one mixed martial arts match that he unfortunately lost. That was back in '97.
All right, so, because I'm curious, because I didn't really follow him after he left the WWF. He went back to Japan, correct?
Yeah.
How big of a star was he over there?
He seems really well respected. Especially now as a manager and cornerman and hype man for Zack Sabre Jr., he has this whole little spiel that he does when he comes out, where he introduces Zack Sabre Jr. and he does like the same intro every time, and it's like a 2 or 3 minute intro, and it's really cool, and the whole crowd like says all the same stuff he says as he's saying it, so. Respected as a star, I'd say much more so in Japan.
Okay. He's still going at what? He got to be like 47 now?
I actually just closed the page. Let me bring it up real quick again. I'll tell you exactly how old he is. But he's definitely not a young guy anymore. He's not a young lion, for sure.
And he also had one of the most graceful moonsaults
Definitely.
out there.
Yeah, he is 45 years old. He's a year younger, 2 years younger than Jericho.
Okay. Yeah. Taka Michinoku. So, number 8, we will kick it to Tim.
Oh, well, Tim actually hasn't given you his number 9 yet.
Damn, he damn sure I'm jumping the gun. Yeah, Tim, who's your number 9?
My number 8 is Jushin.
Number
9 is Jushin Thunder Liger. He's a larger than life character. He's one of the longest tenured junior heavyweights. I could list off his accolades, but I'm not going to. He even had an anime and a manga about himself. I mean, the guy's a legend. He even wrestled in NXT. He's fantastic, and he will be retiring next January.
True.
Okay. All right. Since you're already talking, Tim, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Prince Devitt, a.k.a. Finn Balor. He is a 3-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion and 6-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion, having held them twice with Minoru and 4 times with Ryusuke Taguchi. He is also a 2-time winner of the Best of Super Junior tournament, having won in 2010 and 2013, as well as being a founding member of Bullet Club. He is also a 1-time Rev Pro Wrestling British Cruiserweight champion. So I think during his time as a junior, Devitt definitely made an impact. Also, his contributions toward wrestling, how he opened up a training facility and trained Becky Lynch, and how he got Jay White into the New Japan dojo. The guy is just deserves to be on this list.
Okay, so let me ask you, excuse me, do you think he would do well on 205 Live right now?
I think that
Or
he's
kind of moved it past that stage.
Yeah, he's past that stage. They would either have had to have debuted him on 205 Live. I think that the Demon Balor character is much more marketable as a main roster character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. John, what's your number 8?
Okay, my number 8. My number 8 is another person on that underrated wrestler list, or people that I feel are underrated that don't get the love they deserve. He was a 4-time WCW Cruiserweight champion. He was a 2-time WWF Light Heavyweight champion, 2-time ECW World Television champion, and in 1997, Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked him number 1 out of 500. It is the Iceman, Dean Malenko.
Wow, I am really shocked about that. He definitely was a man of 1,000 holds.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because he wasn't real athletic? Do you think that's why most people don't really classify him in that like heavyweight, cruiserweight bucket?
I don't know. I don't know why people don't, but he was very much part of WCW's Cruiserweight division, and part of what made it such a real division. And he's still working today. He's working behind the scenes in WWE as we speak. He's one of the main people at the Performance Center.
I think people forget about him just because he had everything in the ring, but outside of the ring, not so much.
Yeah.
No personality.
He wasn't one that would be called Mr. Personality, for sure.
That is one I definitely have to say I am shocked that his name showed up on the list, honestly.
Well, we're talking about best wrestlers, right?
Yeah, that is true. And by the way, you guys are making me look really bad. You did your homework on their accolades.
Truth be told, peeling back, I'm looking at the fourth wall. I'm just literally looking at Wikipedia as we're doing this.
Yeah, and also, all my guys, I don't have everything to say for. Like, some of them I'm just going to riff on, and some of them I actually looked stuff up.
Gotcha. All right, so my number 8 is, he's a guy, he's young, he's only like 22 or 23. Just showed up in Ring of Honor within the last 2 months. Bandito.
Oh, nice.
He's number 8 because, he's still early in his career. But goddamn, that guy can move around the ring.
Yeah, and Bandito and...
Flamita?
No, not Flamita. I'm thinking of something else.
Phoenix?
I'm thinking of something else. I'm trying to think. Oh, yes. And Bandito and Dragon Lee will both be challenging one Taiji Ishimori for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title at Madison Square Garden in a triple threat match.
I didn't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it was just Dragon Lee.
Nope, Bandito put up a video on New Japan World a couple days ago.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, hell, I don't even know what it's called, but he throws him up against the rope, does that little flip and suplexes him.
Oh, yeah, like the Lucha German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just this dude is amazing. I'll admit, I honestly didn't know much about Bandito until All In. And when I seen him in the main event, I was like, okay, this is a guy I need to kind of keep an eye on, go back and watch some YouTube clips of, see what he's about, and he has not disappointed at all.
I agree.
All right. So I'll kick off number 7. My number 7 is a guy who is like red hot right now. He showed he can work. He's very athletic, not really a high flyer, but the people love him. And that guy is Kofi Kingston.
Oh, wow.
Of course, we all look forward to every Royal Rumble. You know, what new move he's going to come up with to keep from being officially eliminated from the Royal Rumble. It took him some time, but he found his character. He found his... Because when he first started, he couldn't really talk on the mic, but he has that now. Even at his mid-30s, he can still go and dance around the ring in circles around several people.
Oh,
That's why I had to add him to my list.
That's interesting because, like, I don't think of him as a cruiserweight because they never presented him as one, but he probably is.
Yeah.
Like, now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where if you stop and think, you're like, do I really classify him as one? Let me see. So according to Wikipedia, which we always know is a reliable source, he's billed at 6 feet, which means he's probably really only about 5'10".
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's why we don't really, you know, classify him as a cruiserweight or junior heavyweight. When we look at his build and stuff, that's and the way he moves around the ring, that's why I just had to add him.
Okay.
All right. Since I'm always picking on John, so Tim, who's your number 7?
My number 7 is a man they call the Bastard. His name is Pac. He used to be Adrian Neville. Then he was Neville. He started off in Dragon Gate and then made his way through PWG and then NXT to Raw to 205 Live. The guy is every part. Okay, so we wouldn't have junior heavyweights if it wasn't for Tiger Mask and Dynamite Kid and their series of matches back in the day. I feel like he is a perfect combination of Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask. And everything he does looks aggressive, and it looks precise, and there's so much finesse. His move, the Black Arrow, which is a corkscrew shooting star press, is one of the most beautiful moves I've ever seen in my life. Not only he can work like a regular cruiserweight and do a lot of flippy stuff, but he also can work any style. So I think, Pac is my number 7.
All right. John?
My number 7 is making his way to the WWE system after a lengthy run in Japan. His list of New Japan Pro Wrestling accomplishments is a long one. Super J Cup 2016, Super Junior Tag Tournament 2012, Best of the Super Juniors 2015 and 2017, Junior Heavyweight Champion 6 times, Heavyweight Tag Champion 2 times, and he won the What Culture Pro Wrestling World Cup in 2017, and that man is Kushida.
Okay. I might have to look him up.
Oh, Kushida is awesome.
You say he's coming to NXT?
Yeah, the rumors flying around is that he's... There are rumors that he's jumping right to 205 Live, but that since has been killed. And that there have been rumor killers, and he's most likely going to NXT.
Alrighty. Wait, I'm bugging. That's the dude that walks around that has the Back to the Future gimmick, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where my damn head at. I know Kushida.
Yeah, him and Alex Shelley were the time splitters.
Yeah. Yeah. Long day. All right. So we're on number 6. I guess I'll start with number 6. I call this guy. He is legit human highlight reel. The way this dude, without sounding like I have a man crush on him, he's very fluid in his body movements. But Prince Puma, Ricochet, I call him.
We got the same one.
Huh?
We got the same pick for number 6.
Oh yeah, when that guy's career is finished, he might be number 1. As far as light heavyweights, cruiserweights, just depending on where that guy moves. And he's another guy who is he even 30 yet?
Probably not. Maybe.
And where he spent numerous amount of years in Japan, honoring his craft, Mexico, and it's really paying off right now.
Ricochet is 30. He just turned 30.
How do you get that athletic?
I have no idea, but anybody who can do a double moonsault is on this list. You know what
definitely.
I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That guy, he's definitely a delight to watch every match. He always brings a high energy, so that is my number 6. Since Tim, you said he was your number 6 as well, right?
That is correct.
All right, so I guess you could go ahead. So, he's your number 6.
My number 6?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my number 6, this guy's a legend. Name a promotion, he's been there. Only one that I'm not seeing is WCW. Wrestle 1, World Wrestling Federation / Entertainment, Tokyo Sports, Fight Club Finland, ECW, CMLL, Combat Zone Wrestling, Big Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling. Like, name somebody, he's wrestled them. Name a move, he's done it. It is none other than the Japanese buzzsaw Tajiri.
Hell
Wow, okay. I never really thought about him that way. The tarantula move always looked like it hurt like hell.
Yeah, and most recently he was part of 205 Live for a very short time.
He was in the inaugural Cruiserweight Classic.
Yep, he was in the inaugural
trying to find their
Cruiserweight
footing,
Classic.
right?
Yeah.
What was that?
I said when 205 Live first started, they were trying to find their footing.
Yeah.
He showed up on a couple of appearances, right?
Yeah. And he had an amazing feud. For anybody who listens, he had an amazing feud in ECW with Super Crazy. If you haven't seen any other matches, go and look him up.
You remember what year that was?
No, but if you search it on Google, it'll tell you. It's on the network.
Cool. So, John, you're number 6?
Oh no, my number 6 was Tajiri.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to 5 now.
Do you want my number 5?
Yeah. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is somebody that anybody listening to this Armbar Audio episode knows I am a big fan of. He is, as you said, he's somebody that it might sound like I have a man crush on. He is one of the best high flyers, I think, that have ever lived. New Japan Pro Wrestling, he's been the junior heavyweight title championship 2 times. He is the current never openweight champion. He is the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay.
Oh, I thought about adding Will. He was a tough one. Is there anything that guy can't do?
I don't know. Have a bad match?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I can't be mad at number 5. Do you think because I've seen this on a couple of wrestling forums, do you think he needs to tone down his style a little bit as he gets a little older?
I think he already has. I think he's taken that advice.
Do you ever? Well, how old is he? Okay, he's 25.
Yeah, he's 25 right now.
Yeah, he probably should start toning it down. Just a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I think he already has. The past couple times I've seen him, he's really not doing a lot of flying anymore. Not really.
It's just not all flying.
It's just not all flying.
Yeah, he added the hidden blade, which is the back fist or the elbow strike.
Yeah, that's the move that pisses everybody off for some reason.
And Stormbreaker, which is like out of a power bomb situation move. So yeah, I think he took that stuff to heart and kind of changed it up a little bit.
So let me ask you guys, because I think he's like one of those kind of like once in a lifetime talents. Say he goes another 15 years. You think he'll be in the conversation as one of the not just great, junior heavyweights, but one of the greats? Period.
Yeah,
I hope so. Yes, I hope so, and I think so.
Cool.
I think he's gonna be. I think that Will Ospreay is gonna be the next AJ Styles.
Yeah, and as long as he doesn't inadvertently end his own career early, I think he definitely will be.
All right. So then, Tim, you want to give your number 5?
Well, prepare to be floored because you couldn't believe that John picked him early on. My number 5 is Juventud Guerrera.
Okay.
When I was a little kid, I saw him versus Rey Mysterio in ECW, and then I saw him in WCW, and he was the first person I ever seen do the 450 splash, and he would bounce around that ring like crazy, and I don't know what it was, man. I just loved him. I didn't watch during the period where he was in the WWE, so my memory of him isn't tainted. Right. But when we're talking favorites, I gotta go with who got me into it, who made me feel the most, and Hoovy was one of those guys for sure.
All right. Did you guys like his juice gimmick?
Hoovy Juice was the best. I loved Hoovy Juice.
I didn't really watch.
That was at the time that he was part of the Filthy Animals with Rey Mysterio and Conan.
Oh. Yeah, Hoovy Juice is all right. I liked him with the mask.
Yeah.
Way better than without the mask.
I like him with the mask.
I like Psychosis with his mask. He looks weird without it.
Yeah.
The first time I ever saw Psychosis' face, I was like, oh, that's why. No,
Jesus.
I can't say that.
You just did.
I know. We'll fix it in post.
So,
Kidding.
My number 5, I don't know if you guys would be fooled about this or not, but I actually selected Ultimate Dragon.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, he got shafted when he was in WWE. Big time.
Yep.
From my understanding, though, he is still wrestling.
Yeah, he's a freelancer.
Yeah, every now and then he pops up.
And according to Wikipedia, he is 52 years old now. What are some of his accolades?
Don't you do it.
All Japan Pro Wrestling, he was a champion there. International Wrestling Revolution Group, International Wrestling Alliance, Makanoshu Pro Wrestling, New Japan. Pretty much looks like wherever this guy wrestled at, he had a title.
Oh, yeah.
The Dragon Sleeper, I love that move.
Absolutely.
He's another one that could really fly. had
The acai
Yeah,
moonsault.
had good control over his body. He could just do something and then stop midair or mid movement.
Oh yeah.
I just think he was, when you look at top cruiserweights or junior heavyweights, whatever in the business, you gotta look at him.
I agree.
So I will kick off my number 4, which is Jushin Thunder Liger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you said, that he was pretty much a character. He's pretty much a cultural icon in Japan. And the fact that he has went on well into his 50s, that's a testament to that guy. Of course, he had to slow down, but I'm sure if he wanted to get a little daredevilish, he still could do a crazy move off the top rope.
He invented the shooting star press.
I'm sorry, what you say?
He invented the shooting star press, and the reason he slowed down was because he had a brain tumor.
Oh, see, I did not know about the brain tumor.
Yeah, that's why he slowed it down. Because he had surgery to get out the brain tumor, and it affected his abilities.
Oh, okay. He is 54, so he definitely did his time in the world of wrestling. John, who's your number 4?
Well, this is interesting. My number 4 is your guys' number 6. Ricochet. Current. No, not current. Former NXT North American champion. New Japan Pro Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion 3 times. 2 with Matt Sydal, 1 with Ryusuke Taguchi. Never Openweight 6-man Tag Champions. Best of the Super Juniors 2014. Super Jag Tournament 2015. PWG. PWI ranked him number 15 out of 500 in 2016.
He was PWG champ.
He was, yes.
And he won Bullet twice.
Yeah, and if you talk about Dragon Gate, it looks like he held every title they have. So, yeah, Ricochet's definitely earned a spot on this list.
That's why he's the one and only. So, I'm sure they fought in Japan, but him and Ospreay fought?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, my God, yes.
Many times.
They had a match.
Their match is the reason that Vader got all pissed off and went and tried to fight Will Ospreay.
Yeah, when we get off of here, I'll send you what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm way behind.
I think it was
I do appreciate it.
Best of Super Juniors 2016, if memory serves. It was either 2015 or 2016, and the match got everybody's attention.
Yeah.
But they've wrestled everywhere. I mean, even whenever Ricochet was dating Tessa Blanchard, I believe him and Tessa versus Will Ospreay and B. Priestley happened for What Culture.
Yeah.
They wrestled everywhere, like Rev Pro, a lot in the UK and New Japan. So, and they're all like unreal.
Yeah, they definitely are unreal. So, Tim, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a guy who many might not know, but if they do know him, they definitely pay homage. Yes. He was a 5-time world champion in Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, as he won the Brass Knuckles Heavyweight Championship 3 times, Independent Heavyweight Championship 1 time, and the WEW Heavyweight Championship 1 time. He also became a 2-time Brass Knuckles Tag Team Champion, a 2-time WEW World Tag Team Champion, a 2-time World Street Fight 6-man Tag Team Champion, and a 2-time WEW 6-man Tag Team Champion. He also won All Pro Wrestling's All Asia Tag Team Championship once. Hayabusa is considered to be one of the greatest professional wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling and one of the pioneers of high-flying and junior heavyweight wrestling in Japan. He was the innovator of the Falcon Arrow and the Phoenix Splash, and also popularized the Firebird Splash, which would also become known as the 450 Splash in North America. He was the most popular and greatest star in the history of frontier martial arts wrestling, where he spent the entirety of his career. Due to his impressive talent, Hayabusa received offers with better salaries from New Japan Pro Wrestling and World Wrestling Federation, which is now known as WWE, which could have driven him to success, but he rejected all his offers out of loyalty to FMW. He worked hard as the company's ace, even putting his body on the line, and worked in some of the greatest matches in the company's history. Hayabusa is, like I said, like it said, one of the innovators of cruiserweight wrestling, and he was just, if we were 10 years older than we are now, we would be saying the same things about him that we're saying about Ricochet and Ospreay.
Yeah.
Okay. Love that history lesson, man. Alright, so since you got the mic, Tim, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
He, when he was in WCW, he wrestled as a cruiserweight for a while. Before he got to WCW, he wrestled as a cruiserweight or a junior heavyweight in Japan as, I think, Black Tiger or something, Negro Tiger or something like that.
It would probably be Tigre Negro.
Yeah, something like that. But he was so gifted in everything that he did, and he had chemistry with almost every person he got in the ring with, and he could put together a match really well, and he could hide things. Like if there was a botched move, he could hide it. He was just so good at wrestling. I really don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll go next for my number 3. I think this guy is in the top 5 of best wrestlers that I've ever seen in my lifetime. He was a pioneer of the X Division in TNA. He like to say he's phenomenal. AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
He's kind of moved above that like heavyweight title or whatever. But back in the early mid 2000s, when TNA was really trying to find their footing, him, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, he was Skipper, all those guys really put in and made TNA's X Division what it is. And I just think he was the pioneer. That the hell is the move called? But it was inspired from the high jump in track and field. You know what move I'm talking about?
The move he retired?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Hell, I haven't seen anybody else try to emulate that move. He's just, I don't know, he's simply phenomenal. Plain and simple.
Damn right.
Even from when we didn't know he was AJ Styles in the later days of WCW when he was Air Paris. Or Air Styles with the other guy, Air Paris. He did some crazy stuff back then. So AJ Styles is my number 3. John?
My number 3 is another one who some would consider a legend in cruiserweight wrestling, who should be considered a legend, especially with the massive comeback that he made back in the Cruiserweight Classic a few years ago. He has held both World Tag Team Championships. He's held the WWE Tag Team Championship and the World Tag Team Championship, which was the first time that the brand split happened. The Raw Tag Team title was the World Tag Team title. The SmackDown was WWE. Both of those were held with his longtime partner, Paul London. He was a Cruiserweight champion one time. He's been an X Division champion. He has been... he was part of... Him and Paul London were picked as Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Tag Team of the Year in 2007. It is none other than the one and only, the Brian Kendrick.
I'm the man with the plan. Yeah, Brian Kendrick, I am shocked. He's another guy I think doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. Why do you think that is?
I really couldn't tell you, because I know for some time he had mental health issues, and there is still a big stigma on that in wrestling and pretty much the entire world, really. When he made his comeback for the Cruiserweight Classic, that was definitely a big moment. And him and Daniel Bryan sharing that moment in the ring when he was eliminated from the tournament was a big moment. He was a big part of 205 Live when it first started and still is. His feud with Arya Daivari... No, not Arya Daivari. His feud with Akira Tozawa is one for the ages. I just think Cruiserweight wrestling, tag team wrestling, he's a man that should be recognized.
He even prospered in the X Division.
He did.
Oh, yeah. And we forgot this very important fact. He was trained by who I think is the greatest wrestler of all time, HBK.
That is true.
That is very important. We can't forget that guy. But, wow. And I'm really shocked that he's your number 3, but hey. He does deserve his credit. I will say that. John, you want to kick off your number 2?
Absolutely. My number 2 is somebody who everybody knows. He is one of the greatest cruiserweights of all time. One of the greatest... Tim's going to be mad at me. One of the greatest luchadors of all time. AAA Hall of Fame, class of 2007. Lucha Libre World Cup 2015. His accomplishments in AAA wrestling. His accomplishments in Lucha Underground. His accomplishments in WCW. He was part of what made people pay attention to WCW. WWE, he is one of few to go 1-30 in the Royal Rumble.
I mean, 30-1.
What do you mean 30-1?
Start out 30. I fucked up.
No, it started number 1.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I got you, man.
He's one. Wrestling Observer newsletter. Let's go into this. He's best high-flying wrestler from 1995 to 97 and 2002 to 2004. Best wrestling maneuver, 1995. Match of the year, 2002, with Edge and Chris Benoit. With Edge versus Benoit and Angle for the WWE Tag Team Championships at No Mercy. Most outstanding wrestler, 96. Rookie of the year, 92. Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame, class of 2010. I mean, you should all know who it is by now.
A damn good comeback this year.
Yeah.
He was at All In. I'm going to say some things because he's also my number 2.
Go ahead.
ESPN regards him as the greatest junior heavyweight of all time. Who are we talking about, John?
The master of the 619, Rey Mysterio.
My man. He deserves all those accolades that he gets. He's almost 45 and he's still going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even when hell his knee was messed up back in WCW, he still
his feud with Chavo Guerrero is one of my favorites.
Oh, he is the man. Rey Mysterio. Tim, you want to give your number 2?
That's my number 2.
That's Rey Mysterio.
Oh, that is your number 2. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Right, so my number 2 is Eddie G. Just as far as cruiserweights, he might not have been the most athletic, but you could connect with Eddie. And I think out of all the light heavyweight cruiserweights, he had the most personality. So that's why he's my number 2. I mean, his frog splash to this day is still probably the sweetest frog splash ever. And you can just tell by how many people try to emulate his frog splash.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
And then, so I'll get my number 1.
Yeah.
He was your guy's number 2. Rey Mysterio, my favorite cruiserweight of all time. I mean, what can't be said about Rey other than greatness? You know?
That's it. Greatness.
So, all right. So Tim, what's your number 1?
My number 1 was on your list, and I'm glad you didn't say everything that Wikipedia had to say because I got some things to say. He holds a record as the professional wrestler with the most concurrent championships. On October 11th, 1996, he won the J Crown, a unification of 8 lower weight division titles from various international promotions. At the time, he already held the NWA World Middleweight Championship. During this reign, he also became a WCW Cruiserweight Champion, making him the most decorated wrestler in history. From December 29th, 1996 through January 4th, 1997, he was the active reigning and defending champion of 10 titles, a record which still stands. That is Ultimo Dragon.
Oh, all right.
To me, when I was a kid, man, when I saw Ultimo Dragon, I thought he was the coolest thing ever. This was, of course, after Ultimate Warrior left because I thought he was the coolest thing ever. And then I saw Ultimo Dragon, and I just loved him. I loved the gear. I loved his moveset. I loved everything. And if he was on TV, whether he was a good guy or a bad guy in WCW, I wanted him to win. I even have a custom-made Funko Pop of him that I paid a nice amount of money for, and it looks great. But I love Ultimo Dragon.
All right. So, no, I can't even think of nothing smart to say. I was ready to say something about him being, is he really better than Ray? But I couldn't think quick enough.
I don't know if he's better than Ray, but I favor him over Rey Mysterio.
Okay, I got you. All right, John, who's your number 1?
Well, my number 1 was on both of your guys' lists, and he is, I guess it could be said, the most legendary cruiserweight of all time. Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards, we got Best Gimmick 1989, Best Flying Wrestler from 89 to 93, Best Technical Wrestler from 89 to 92, Best Wrestling Maneuver in 87 and 88, Match of the Year in 1990 versus Naoki Sano in Osaka, Japan, Most Outstanding Wrestler from 90 to 92, Rookie of the Year in 84, and Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame, Class of 99. World Championship Wrestling, he was the light heavyweight champion one time. Pro Wrestling Noah, junior heavyweight champion one time. Junior heavyweight tag champion one time. PWI, he was ranked number 8 out of 500 in 2000. He has a New Japan Pro Wrestling list of accolades too long to mention. He was...
That's a record.
What's this? This
one?
Yeah. This one? He holds the record for most junior heavyweight championship runs in New Japan with 11. He was in the G1 Climax Junior Heavyweight Tag League with El Samurai in 2001. He won that. Top Best of the Super Juniors 1992, 1994, and 2001. It is and also CMLL Universal Championship in 2010. World Middleweight Champion one time, and World Tag Team Champions with Hiroshi Tanahashi. He has been the Open the Dream Gate champion. That's the title that Pac currently holds. It is the one and only Jushin Thunder Liger.
Oh yeah, he definitely deserves being in the conversation.
Yeah.
So that was everybody's top 10. So I gotta ask you guys a little bit of shit. Who had the better list?
Well, I'm obviously gonna think that mine's better. But I think we're all very close.
Yeah.
In our lists, some of us picked wrestlers that the others didn't, but I'd say probably 6 or 7 out of 10 we all chose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a testament to those guys. That no matter who you talk to, those guys are in the upper echelon of cruiserweights, light heavyweights of all time. Who were some of your honorable mentions?
For me, Dean Malenko, Billy Kidman, Dynamite Kid, Tiger Mask 1, Marty Scurll, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Bandito.
Yeah, Bandito for sure. Definitely Marty Scurll. I would even say Hiromu Takahashi.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, who did I pick? Kidman, Matt Sydal.
Oh, shit.
Evan Bourne.
Ospreay, favorite honorable mentions of mine. Mustafa Ali, he definitely, I think, he'll eventually be in the conversation.
Yeah.
Psychosis, super crazy.
Yeah.
That guy could do some crazy shit. One out right now I currently enjoy seeing, but I really only see him if he's on Lucha Underground, and a few times he's been on Impact is Aerostar.
Oh yeah.
Jack Evans.
Aerostar's great.
What do you guys think about Puma King?
I am not impressed.
Is he a junior?
I don't know if he's a junior, but he's a luchador.
If he is, he's big for a junior.
But either way,
But then again, so is Shingo.
I don't think he's that. I'm not that impressed with him.
You're not that impressed?
No.
It's one guy. He's not going to honorable mentions, but I wanted your guys' opinion on him. Brian Pillman.
Junior or senior?
Senior.
Senior? Oh, yeah. He's one of the greats. Him and his son both. We've had him on the show. He was great.
I don't think of Brian Pillman as a junior, but whenever he's mentioned as a junior, my mind goes to the first Nitro where he wrestled Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah.
So, to me, his body was always bigger than a junior. He was always in that, if he was in WCW, I was glad that he was put into a tag team or going for a U.S. belt or a TV belt. When he got to WWF and he wasn't, he wasn't as athletic, but his character stands the test of time.
Yeah, the loose cannon. The psycho.
Oh yeah.
His feud with Stone Cold is one of the key things to look up in the Attitude Era history books.
Him and Goldust and Mark Merrow.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot, because here's another guy that's always I don't really know where to put him, Jericho.
See,
Jericho did. He started as a cruiser. He was part of the big. He was part of the big surge of cruiserweight action in WCW, but he's ascended since then. He's possibly my greatest of all time. Period.
He's mine.
Yeah. I mean, you can say Ric Flair, you can say Triple H, but nobody is still wrestling at the level that Chris Jericho is, or as frequently as Chris Jericho is.
Right. He has been able to definitely reinvent himself throughout the years.
Yeah.
And he deserves a lot of credit for that.
His rematch with Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing is going to be incredible.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, do we put Kenny Omega in the conversation?
Kenny
Only
Omega
for a
started
few
as a
years.
junior, but only for a few years. And
Same with Kota Ibushi. It's hard with some of these guys because
it is hard. And I was going to include both of the Young Bucks on my list, but that takes up 2 spots. It's like it was hard to pick anybody that was part of a tag team for this. You know what I mean?
I think if you were going to pick one of the Bucks, it should have been Nick.
Nick, yeah.
Because he does more high flying.
Mm-hmm.
But, B, you had a special question for us, right?
Yeah, I had one special question, and then while we were talking, I actually thought of another one. So
Oh, shit.
I'm going to do the one I thought of first. All-time favorite move that is equated with cruiserweight.
It's got to be the 619 and the West Coast Pop combo, right?
To me, it's the red/black arrow.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
For me, it would have to be the shooting star press.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah.
The way they're able to kind of contort their body in midair, especially because I can't do that shit. I just think that is amazing. So my special question was all-time favorite junior heavyweight, whatever you want to call it, match of all time.
1997 Halloween Havoc title versus hair match. The WCW Cruiserweight title was on the line when Eddie Guerrero put up his hair against Rey Mysterio. That match is not only my favorite Cruiserweight match, but it's in my top 5 matches of all time. It stands the test of time. The two of them had great matches together throughout Eddie's life, and they just had unmatchable chemistry in the ring.
All right, John, what was yours?
So mine actually just happened last year. It was at last year's Wrestle Kingdom event, and it was a 4-way match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. And why this is special to me is that multi-man matches for titles just simply do not happen in Japan. It doesn't happen. For them to do a fatal 4-way match was a very special thing. And it was Marty Scurll, who was at the time the current champion, putting up his title against Will Ospreay, Kushida, and Hiromu Takahashi. And why I love this match is that it started me on my obsession with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Alright, that's fair enough. I had the same one as Tim.
Really?
Mysterio versus
That's
Eddie
interesting.
Guerrero.
That's awesome.
I actually remember when I said, hey, I got a special question for you guys. I got to go back and make sure my answer is right. I had to watch that match a couple of times and be like, yeah, this is definitely the match. And for me personally, I started watching wrestling around that time, late 97, right before the big attitude boom or whatever. And like I said earlier, those guys being smaller guys and the athleticism just captivated me, honestly. And just stuck with me through the years, so that's why that's my favorite match.
Nice stuff. So, Beasy, real quick. let the people know about where they can find Talking Suplexes.
Okay, cool. All right, so Talking Suplexes, our angle kind of is we're the podcast, the wrestling podcast that tries to bring you the culture that is professional wrestling. So just like we did Talking Cruiserweights, we always, we find different things about the culture of wrestling to talk about. We can be found on Podbean, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, and 1500radio.net. We're also on Instagram at Talking Suplexes Pod.
All right.
Shout out to Larry and Marcos.
All right, Beasy. Well, we had a great time talking about the Cruiserweights with you, and we'll see you down the line, all right?
All right, I enjoyed it. Let's do it again one day, fellas.
Absolutely.
All right, take it easy.
Peace. Wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, you have a great one, and peace and love to all of you.
You know them.
Bang!
Bang.